Hey guys, it's Walking and Draws. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be talking about drawing the second eye. I will be using this guy as a reference. I pretty frequently draw from reference, but I did start out drawing from imagination a lot. And even though this is being applied to drawing from reference, you can very easily use this same concept, this same technique for drawing from imagination. Whenever I do end up drawing from imagination, I still use the same technique. So you can definitely use it for both. So I always use these when I'm drawing someone. And I like to call these like guidelines or grid lines, and they're very important. I think the main thing about drawing the second eye is to not even treat it as the second eye. You shouldn't think of it as the first eye and then the second eye. You should think of it as a pair of eyes, because it's a pair. They go together. And this doesn't mean that the eyes are identical. There are subtle differences between each eye, but you should create them in tandem with each other. And so when I'm drawing those eyes, I'm thinking about, hey, they're an equal distance away from that center line. So that center line of the face, for the most part, unless you have some kind of crazy reference, they're going to be about an equal distance away from that line. But when I'm doing this, I can't just draw where the corner of the eye is an equal distance away from the center line. I'm also thinking about how far apart the eyelid is. And then I'm also going to draw like a dot or something to indicate how big the eye is lengthwise. Ooh, jump scare. I zoomed this in really close because I drew this in a light color. I probably should have drawn it in a darker color. But so here I've outlined just the outline of the eye, and then the outline of, I guess that would be the iris, and then also where the tear duct is at. And so a lot of times I find differences really in that tear duct. Sometimes there's a slightly different shape. And with these ones, they're a little bit of a slightly different shape. One of the tear ducts kind of goes straight up and down with that ending line, and the other ones, it's kind of like a slant a little bit. And so I think it's just also noticing these little differences. And it also depends on how realistic you want to go. If you're not really aiming to be super realistic, then you can make them look as much as you want to. But I think when you're aiming to make it more realistic, you're trying to capture all of those little details, because all those little details just make it come alive even more. And then I just drew in the eyelids. You just kind of wanted to see the differences, in the eyelids, see the differences in the irises, even in the pupils, the tear ducts, and the eyelashes, really capturing all those little details. And you can even capture even more details if you shade it or color it. But even with just that sketch, it's important to capture those little details. And so just some ending notes. Like I said, you want to treat the eyes as a pair. You want to treat them and create them in tandem with each other. And I think that's the most important part about drawing the second eye. I think a lot of people, they'll just draw that first eye, and then they're like, oh, we're just going to draw the second eye and just mirror it. And I think that if you treat them as one to begin with, it can make it a little bit easier to create both eyes. And now to the sketch. Now I will say this portrait's far from perfect. As I always say, my sketches and my portraits aren't perfect. But I noticed at the end of this, which it's too late because I'm not going to start over, but I kind of went a little overboard with the slight slants. If you look at it really closely, yes, the eye line is a little slanted in the reference, and it's a little bit of the face too. But it's very minor, extremely minor. So much so I would have been better off with just drawing it straight up. And so the whole face is just basically tilted by the end of it. And if you look at the reference, it just looks straight. If you really zoom in, maybe you can see a slight slant. And honestly, it's hard to see myself now. I'm not sure what I saw when I first began it, but it's not really slanted at all. But it is what it is, and I still think the sketch turned out great. Just, it's a little slanted. As you can see, I had some trouble with sketching out the outside of the face. So much so that I decided to just move to a different part of the face and redirect there and then go back to the outside of the face later. And sometimes I do that. Sometimes it's easier to start at a different part of the face and then kind of connect it to that part I wanted to draw originally. And so sometimes, and it can be easier because different parts relate to different things. So if I draw the facial hair first, and then I start drawing the beard, and so then I have the bottom of the chin. And sometimes it might be easier to work my way bottom up, than it is top down. And it just depends. Sometimes I might go back up to the top and retry there. So then I just kind of drew an outline of the hair. I didn't go inside with the details of the curls. I'll focus on that in the next video when I'm shading it. But anyways, this was really pretty much the end of the video. I hope you guys found it helpful, and I hope you enjoyed the video. You know, leave a like if you enjoyed it, comment any of your thoughts, questions, or suggestions for future videos, and subscribe if you are new to this channel and you want to see more content like this. Check out my other social medias. I am also Walkie and Draws on Instagram and TikTok. Have a very blessed Friday, and see you next video.